Welcome, everybody, to episode 27 of the Canuckleheads podcast. My name is Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wes. Danny Paulson, is that 27? Travis Hammock is
Travis
27.
Hamonic, yeah.
This isn't the second time we've done this. So we'll go over some games here. Vegas at Vancouver, April 3rd, 2022. Demko and Leonard get the start. Jason Dickinson, Tucker Pullman back. 2-0 Vegas after the first period. And no Tucker Pullman to start the second. Boudreau confirmed it was the same head injury that was re-aggravated, I guess we'll say here.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Head injuries are definitely no joke. Like, we already have Michael Furland on LTIR, whose career is over because of concussions and head injuries. So, you kind of hopefully, like, Pullman's just shut down for the year.
Yeah.
Let him have the whole off season to kind of try and recover and
let him come back.
See how he is next year. And
let's just hope it's not a Michael Furland situation where it's like there's no returning. I hope that maybe in the off season he can heal up his brain and come back strong.
Yeah, and we kind of fucked up our recording here, so this is the second time we're going over this game. But we were talking about how I don't feel like the Canucks have used Abbotsford very well. Pullman should have had a game or two, like a conditioning stint in the AHL to see if he was ready, right? Like, it's not about he's not good enough to be in the NHL. It's not about anything like that. It's a head injury. It's send this guy down. Let's see if he can make it through a game without any setbacks or anything like that, right? Because he did have a setback, like in recovery. He was practicing for a bit, and I believe he, had to stop. So, and again, we said this before. I don't feel like the Canucks have used Abbotsford very well, but it's the first year of them being here, so maybe it's a learning curve. But
and that's the thing, like, why not just throw Rathbone in for a night, let Tucker Pullman play down, see how he feels. If he doesn't make it through the game, not the end of the world, because he doesn't leave us short against Vegas for 2 full periods.
And it's not the AHL, like, developing prospects is important, but the NHL this is where results matter. So this is kind of, if it happens in the AHL, it's just more minutes for younger guys playing in there who are developing anyway. Not the end of the world. If it happens in the NHL, it's a strain on the whole team. That is, like, technically trying to make a playoff push, even though, like, the math isn't in our favor, but nobody likes math anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
This was 2-0 Vegas after 2. In the third, we had a goal from JT Miller. Just a shot from the slot assisted by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. We also had a weird goal from Bo Horvat, who lost the faceoff. Alex Martinez tried to play the puck, just kind of redirected it past Robin Leonard. The weirdest goal of the season, hands down.
For sure.
I don't remember. We talked about this again, too. It's kind of like the Kevin Bieksa goal to send the Canucks to the Stanley Cup in 2011, where it's just you don't know what happened.
What the hell? And then you watch the replay and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a face-off and the puck's in the net. And this one, actually, Boudreau was kind of pissed about because the Canucks were on a two-man power play.
Yep.
The puck went in, and I believe the phrasing of the rules changed. So when you hit that last second, if you score then, that penalty expires instead of carrying over.
Yeah.
So after Horvat scored this goal, it was even strength, and Boudreau was kind of pissed about that because he thought the Canucks should have still had a one-man power play. And this was tied after 2. To overtime we go. Vancouver loses 3-2. Shea Theodore scores. Kind of the story of the whole season, it feels like, for the Canucks in overtime.
Yep.
You just get scored on right away. So we had a home with Vegas in this one. So Canucks were in Vegas April 6th, 2022. Demko and Leonard start again. So, and this kind of goes back to that thing we talked about with St. Louis, where Boudreau said he didn't want to start the same goalie against the same team twice. But he did it here.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. But, like, why?
No consistency.
Yeah, if it's a big deal last week, why isn't it a big deal this week?
Yeah.
And if it's not a big deal this week, why is it a big deal? You know what I mean? Like, just start Demko.
And that's the thing. I don't know if he was just trying to take some of the spotlight off of having to rest Demko and trying to make an excuse, because clearly he didn't do it here. And clearly Demko's ready to finish out the season, so we're going to play him in every goddamn game we need to.
Yeah. In this one, no Besser because of an arm injury. Kind of got sandwiched between Petey and Ben Hutton the game before. No Hughes because of an illness. Same one that Bo Horvat left the game against St. Louis with, I believe it was.
Yeah, which I was glad that Bess actually puffed out that first Vegas. He was clearly hurt, came right back and finished the game out, and I love that out of Bess. Showed some toughness. there.
Kyle Burrow's back for the first time in a long time after breaking his ribs.
Thank God.
So in the first here, we had a goal from Bo Horvat with a tip-in off an OEL point shot. And another thing we talked about where in the 5 games Quinn Hughes has missed, OEL has 7 points. So can still run a power play. Still can quarterback a power play, no problem. Still has that offensive side to his game. You look at just the raw numbers of his season, and you're like, well, they're down. It's because he's not on the first unit power play.
Exactly. So. And that's where he gets a lot of his points because he is a great setup man. And it is nice to just take Quinn off of that line for a minute, even though he's not playing. It's nice to switch it up and have OEL on the first line power play. And I think you might see that switch it maybe a little more often. It's tough because Quinn Hughes is such a skilled player and he creates offense, but I would like to see that change a little bit more often.
Yeah, and again, it's something we talked about in the previous recording, where OEL has like the veteran status, so he's not afraid to like eke a JT Miller or an Elias Pettersson. Whereas, like, I don't think Quinn Hughes really maybe feels like it's his place to tell Miller to shoot a puck or something like that. And Hughes is still learning the game, right? Like, just because he's such an offensively dynamic player doesn't mean he still doesn't have things to learn. OEL's kind of been there, done that, and just like kind of knows the finer details, right? Yeah. Not afraid to just throw a puck on the net.
He has more say in the locker room.
Yeah, and very good at getting pucks on the net too.
Yeah.
Which is I don't know if you can teach that. I think you just know that. I think it's just something you can or can't do.
Yeah.
We had a goal from Brad Richardson, from Jason Dickinson and Connor Garland. Garland steals a pass and sends it down to Richardson, who passes it to Dickinson in front of the net. And Richardson gets a rebound 17 seconds after the Horvat goal. Quick strike Canucks offense. Just a nice goal. Like Brad Richardson in the couple games he's played has looked pretty decent for
I like him a lot, man, especially with his age. I didn't know what to expect, and I've loved his game. And honestly, like when we bang 2 goals in like that in a row, it's a deflator for the other team, so I love to see it.
Yeah. Very, very deflating thing for the Golden Knights, like you said. This was 2-1 Vancouver after the first, and then in the second we had a goal from Elias the Alien Pettersson. Beats Leonard under the blocker off a great backhand. Oh, Pearson, sorry, scored this. Off a great backhand pass from Petey, who kind of like pushes the puck forward to get the angle on his defender and throws it like through the stick and the skates, and then right tape to Pearson. Yeah. Just a lovely pass from Petey on this
one. Yeah, I loved how like he knew he had to get a different angle on it, so he reached way out, put himself in a bad position, but just an unbelievably skilled pass right on the tape. And you seen Pearson right after the goal. He said, like, what an epic pass.
Yep. Then we had a goal from Petey with a tap-in off a great OEL pass. Mm-hmm. OEL was just kind of cutting down the side of the boards and just popped up and threw a pass across crease, and Petey tipped it in past Leonard. 4-1 Vancouver after 2. Mm-hmm. Then in the third, we had a goal. Yes, the Alien Pettersson. Knocks down a clearing attempt. The puck goes to Chason, who passes it back to Petey, and no chance for Leonard. And these are the things that make Elias Pettersson a special. He was trying to do that. He was trying to knock down the puck. That I can't remember. I think it was maybe Martinez or Pietrangelo that was making the play.
Yeah.
This wasn't he got lucky and it hit him. He was trying to knock down that puck, and it just the rest of it was luck, right? It bounced right to Chason. That was kind of lucky, but these are the things that make Petey special, where he can do.
He's the play.
Yeah,
he knows what has to happen in order to score the goal.
Yeah, and is like. This was probably the best Petey game we've seen all year. He was dominant everywhere.
Yeah, and like even on that skilled backhand pass, it's like most guys just try and chip that through.
Yeah, or throw it around the boards.
Exactly, but he like reaches way out, gets his geometry perfect, and then throws the pass through.
Busted out the old protractor.
For real, I was like, wow. Like you just see his skill is just at another level right now.
So this was a 5-1 Canucks win. Elias Pettersson with 4 points. I believe Kyle Burrows had 9 hits in this game too, so coming back from broken ribs, throwing the body.
Yeah, and that's why I love Burrows, man. Not the biggest guy out there, but throws the biggest hits. Like, he's unreal.
Yeah, and especially, like we said, like coming back from broken ribs, like...
You think you'd be a little worried mentally.
Like, you move wrong or something, right? You get it right in the ribs, and bam, you bust the same one or something like that, but man didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no fear from Burrs.
And it's really... carving out a role that only Luke Shen kind of does. Like only Shen really throws hits on the blue line.
Yep.
Nice to have another guy that does it, especially a guy that's 8 years younger than Luke Shen, or whatever.
And has so much upside to his game. Like I just think there's so much potential for Burrows, and if we do end up getting rid of Luke Shen in the future, he's the new Luke Shen.
Yeah,
110%.
I have definitely. You kind of forget about Burrows a little bit, right? Because he's not a flashy player, but when you see him come back, like I miss Burrows. He's definitely a force on the blue line.
Right when he left, I said, I'm going to miss him because I love players like him. And then as soon as he comes back, I'm like, this is why I wanted Burrows. You know what I mean? You just see his game, and he does so much away from the puck that a lot of people don't notice that are big elements to the game.
Yeah. Another thing we should mention, too, like just in general, great job by all the defensemen in this, stepping up without Quinn Hughes, right? Like OEL running the power play. I think Myers played like 25, 27 minutes.
Yeah. And whenever Quinn gets out of the lineup, you see Myers' minutes goes to like 25 minutes at a night. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. And everybody stepped up. Like Myers was good. OEL was great. Burrows, it was great seeing him back. And I really liked Dermott's game.
Yeah, Hunty. And I was glad that they moved Dermott up in the lineup to play with Mizey. I liked that connection, and they seem to play good together.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been disappointed with Dermott at all. Like,
no.
He's not... I haven't noticed him for the wrong reasons, which is what you want out of a third-pairing defenseman, right? And potentially maybe even a top four. But I've been very pleased with his game.
Yeah.
And I like Brad Richardson's game too. I wasn't really sure what to expect with him because he is very old.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't have the wheels, but it hasn't really affected him negatively that much that I've noticed. So, again, 2 decent additions at the trade deadline there.
And if you look at who we got rid of originally, O'Leary, and now we have Dermott, just skip the Hamonic situation. I think Dermott's twice the player that O'Leary is. So
I would agree.
I'm super happy with where we're at right now with our
Not super happy, but it's an improvement.
We have Rathbone coming right up the pipeline now.
Yes.
Like, we are in a good position. Not the best defensive position.
We're in an okay position. There's optimism. Let's just say that. There's optimism.
And we have 2 guys that can quarterback a power play on the D. So, and like a lot of teams around the league don't have that option. We do, and that puts us in a way better spot. Because look, when Hughes is out tonight, we still have a dangerous power play.
Yeah, this OEL just kind of plug and play and doesn't miss a beat. Like,
and if Mizey's there, he's not as effective as either of those 2 players.
I don't think the power play is Myers' thing.
No,
like let him do you in strength. The penalty kill.
Exactly.
We talked about it too. Like OEL, when you look at the points, just from a point standpoint, you might see it and be a little disappointed. But we talked about this before. Like, he's not on a first unit power play on a regular basis. When he has been, he's put up numbers, big time numbers. Yeah. So, like, I'm not worried points wise about OEL.
No,
he's been great defensively. He had a little stretch there where I think he was hurt, battling something.
He was playing a little off for a couple games.
Kind of back to normal now, and it's something we need for the remainder of his contract, right? To make it worthwhile. Like, it's kind of when they signed the Louis Eriksson contract. The theory was first year 3 years are going to be good. Then you're going to regret the last 3 years. Turns out we regret all 6 years. But with OEL, you need him to be good. The duration of the contract.
And it's so funny because he had a really offensive stint earlier in his career. It's like people want to just look at the point and say that it's a glaring negative. In my opinion, when it comes to defensemen, that's the last stat you should be looking at. What you should be looking at is, does he win board battles? Is he good defensively? Is he clearing guys out in front of the net? OEL does all of those things to expert level. So I'm not worried about him whatsoever. Like, you see him in a board battle, man, and he never loses a puck battle. It's crazy. He'll be battling 2 players, and he'll come out with the puck.
Listen to this, man. Totally agree with you.
OEL's a monster.
And the only thing I would argue with you is if it's a player like Quinn, then you want him putting up numbers.
100%. Yeah.
But that's just a given.
Yeah.
With OEL, like, he will put up points because that's just part of his game.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be like the 40, 50-point guy in Arizona scoring 15 goals a year.
Yeah.
But we don't need that because we have Quinn Hughes. We just need him to be a secondary offensive driver. And he's done that. Like, he'll make great breakout passes and stuff too. Maybe the wheels aren't what they used to be, but he's not a bad skater.
No, definitely not. And positionally, always in a great position. Like, He's just a great hockey player. He has the IQ to just back it up. He doesn't have to be the fastest guy out there. He doesn't have to be the most offensive guy out there. He just does his job.
He's like a more skilled Luke Shen, right? Where he's just
way more skilled Luke Shen.
Where he's positionally sound too. Yeah. So you never really see him get beat.
Exactly.
And yeah, just underrated gritty player too, right? Yeah. Like you've seen him stand up for teammates a couple times. Doesn't have to drop the gloves, but just get in a scrum. And he's not scared to do that.
Yeah, we both said we didn't even know that was a part of his game until he played for us, and you see it. Like he's not afraid to get chippy with guys and stick up for the boys, and I love that about him.
Yeah, I haven't really been upset with the addition of OEL this year. We'll see 3-4 years from now what happens, but so far I've actually liked OEL a lot. Next game we have Vancouver at Arizona, April 7th, 2022. We had back-to-backs here. Yaroslav Halak getting the start. And Stateri, I know that's not how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Kind of coming out of nowhere here. I don't know what the goaltending situation with the Coyotes is, but this guy played, I think, I can't remember, with the Panthers maybe? Yeah. His last NHL win came against the Canucks. That's all I remember. But yeah, so this was the first game back in Arizona for OEL and Connor Garland. No Hughes, no Besser again. In the first, we had a goal on the power play from Alex Chason on a great cross-crease pass from Petey. Great puck movement on the power play in general.
Yeah.
And again, what we talked about, like OEL just fits in. It kind of changes the dynamic a little bit, and the power play's been on fire lately.
Yeah.
1-0 Vancouver after one. In the second period, Tanner Pearson didn't come out to start the period and didn't return to the game. Not entirely sure what's going on there. There hasn't been any announcements on him yet.
Pierce, he's kind of like Bo. He's a bit of an Iron Man. So when he's out of the game, you know it's something that's pretty serious because he does not leave games. Never.
Then we had a goal from Beaufort William Horvat with a wraparound, assist 2 puck goals, and Garland. So Garland putting up numbers against the old team.
And Scorvat strikes again, and I love that play from him. Like, it wasn't a guaranteed goal. He's just putting pucks on net in any way possible, and you see him getting rewarded.
And you don't see the wraparound from Bo too often.
Never.
I don't really remember any other time.
Nope. He's just putting pucks on net any means necessary. Yeah. And I love that.
Also, Podkolzin with a bit of a promotion. This one gets popped up to that line with Garland and Bo, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that later on here. So 38 seconds later, we have a goal from Beaufort William Scorvat.
Yeah.
Blocks a shot, breaks the puck out, passes it to Garland. Garland to Pods. Pods over to Bo.
This pass from Podkolzin, dude.
Beautiful pass.
Oh my God. I was freaking out when it happened, and I literally had to watch the replay consistently just because that pass was money.
It was nice. And so Mr. Horvat with his 30th goal of the year. First time 30 goal scorer.
Yeah.
Just on an absolute heater. Yeah. I believe this is his 16th goal in 20 games or something like that.
Yeah, his numbers in the last 25 games are ridiculous, and I don't want to get far ahead of myself, so we'll leave that stat for later after the game. But Bo has just been on an absolute heater, and I think if he can start a season this hot, we could see 40 out of him.
Yeah, I didn't.
His trending is going like this.
This has been bubble Horvat.
Yeah, he's putting up numbers, playoff mode already, and I love that.
Yeah, this the playoffs. Bo Horvat is built for the playoffs.
Yeah.
His first taste against Calgary, in 2014 or whatever it was, he was the best player, and that was on a team with the Sedins.
Yeah.
I remember in that series just end-to-end rushes from Horvat constantly, and being like, man, this kid is going to be a player.
Yeah.
Fast forward, he's the captain. First 30-goal season. He's been on an absolute heater of a goal-scoring streak.
And this is what I loved about Travis Green, giving him the captaincy, and obviously it's not just Travis Green, it was the entire team, but I liked that Travis said, clearly Bo isn't at his full potential yet. He's going to keep trending upwards, and I believe the same, and that's why I think 40 is a benchmark for him next season if he starts out hot.
Yeah, and Bo's not a playmaker. This is kind of what he is. He's kind of like Kessler, not as good defensively, but Kessler wasn't a playmaker either. Kessler just scored goals, and that's what Bo has been doing.
Yeah.
Different styles. Kessler was more of just a straight up shooter.
Yeah.
Bo's more of a power move, power play kind of guy.
Exactly.
And then we had another goal from Petey on a 2-on-0 with Chason. Petey to Chason, back to Petey, past whatever Sateri, whatever his name is, doesn't matter. You got scored on.
Yep.
Petey on a heater too.
Oh, absolutely. And I wanted to save this kind of till the end, but I have to say it now because Jason and Petey, man.
It worked.
Who would have seen this combination? Like over the past 3 games with Besser out?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jason and Petey just have this chemistry. It's like their brains are connected. They're finding each other with crazy passes, and like, I just love the combo. They seem to be working extremely well together.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll admit it. Like, Jason, I might owe you an apology here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let like 3 games really change things, but at this point, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him back on another 1 year minimum deal,
I think
right?
he gets it.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I don't like him on the 4th line because I feel like you need speed there.
Yeah.
And I don't see him as an everyday kind of guy, but definitely he's a good plug and play when you have a Besser out.
Exactly, and he showed even on the power play. He doesn't hesitate. He lets the puck fly when he has to. Finds Petey anywhere standing. Like, those two just mesh, and I chirped Chase on so hard when he first came to the team. Man, him and Petey just work.
Yeah. Speaking of Chason, we had a goal on the power play from Alex Chason. Yep. Tipped in an OEL point shot. Petey with the secondary assist. 5-1 win for the Vancouver Canucks. Bo Horvat, 17-0 in the faceoff.
Yeah, seriously. And
what the fuck?
I know. And my buddy, I was talking to him in the party on the PC, and he was like, "Matt, both faceoff stats?" I was like, "Yeah, 100%. He didn't lose a draw."
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. And like on the Rink-Wide podcast, they were talking about this too. The last time there was a better face-off performance than this was the 1997 NHL. So some elite company for both. Bergeron, I think, went 17-0 one game too, like 2 years ago or something.
That's ridiculous.
But still,
you're an elite company if you do that.
Yeah. Just a part of Horvat's game that's been underrated, even for as good as it's been. Like,
well, and I mean, when you take the most face-off in the league for like 3 years in a row, you're gonna get pretty good at it.
Yeah. And I remember like Bo's second year, like 3rd year, like here's Getzlav.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
here's the big
here's
boys.
Kopitar. Good luck.
Yeah.
5-1 win for the Canucks. Back-to-back 5-1 win games. 10 goals in 2 games. Back-to-back.
Love it.
It was pretty awesome.
Like this is what we needed at the start, man. It's it's like almost that too little, too late thing, but it's still nice to enjoy these games.
Yeah, and like yes, it's like Coyotes, but you're still playing back to back after you played a good Vegas game. So like, it would be super Canucks to beat the Golden Knights and then lose to Arizona. So it was good to see them get the win.
Exactly, against a team we're supposed to beat handedly, and we did.
Yeah, and also a nice tribute from the Coyotes fans for OEL and Garland. So. Good to see that, and it's always nice to see like a long-term player, especially the way it ended for OEL. Like,
kind of messy.
Yeah, the team didn't want him.
Yeah,
then he wanted out. So just kind of.
And it was funny because last year he wanted out. He wasn't even supposed to be there for that year, so that would be awkward, right? Like, just a messy situation. For your captain.
Yeah, and like one of your few top tier players. So. Next game, San Jose at Vancouver, April 9th, 2022. First game at home after a little 3-game road trip here. The Canucks wearing their Community Heroes jerseys and warm-ups. I liked a lot. They're like that nice light blue.
They've been like 6 for 6 lately, man. Like, they have just been coming out with bangers.
The warm-up jerseys have been nice.
Yeah.
It's cool, too. I like what they've been doing. I don't think there was an announcement at the start of the year that they were going to kind of be having all these different warm-up jerseys. So it's been neat.
Yeah.
Demko and Kakinen start. No Pearson. Quinn Hughes back after his non-COVID illness. Be very clear on that. This was not a COVID-related thing.
And neither was Quinn.
Yeah, that's I'm talking about Quinn.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's all you're saying.
Jason Dickinson with a beauty of a goal after a questionable hit from Kyle Burrows.
But I thought that was a clean hit when I seen it originally. It happened so fast.
It was very quick.
But then it kind of a little bit of head action there. But
when he went, Ryan Merkley, I believe it was, went down for a while. And so after the goal went in, they reviewed it, but they showed you the replay, and you're like, okay, well, who knows here? Yeah. League did look at it, no suspension or anything coming.
Which shows you, exactly, it shows you that Burrows wasn't intending to make it a dirty hit or anything like that. He was just trying to lay the boom down. And he did.
Kid
got rocked. And then you see Jason Dickinson with a fine move at the other end.
Hands out of nowhere.
I was going to say, where were these hands earlier, Jason?
Yeah.
You've come off an injury. You expect the guy to be rusty, and all of a sudden he's got mitts.
Yeah, so I was immediately drawn to the hit because I was like, oh my God. Man got killed.
Yeah.
And then I kind of missed the offensive part until I seen the he kind of went around wide over his D-man, went behind the goalie and tucked it in behind him.
Yeah.
I love Brendan Morrison 2004 against the Flames. Sent that one to Game 7 in the playoffs. Yeah. And then I see the goal and the celebration. I'm like, Garland? Who was that? And I'm like, Dickinson?
Yeah.
Really?
And but it was funny, too, because when he was coming around the defender, it looked like the puck was kind of getting away from him a little bit, and he still pulls it through, tucks it.
Yeah.
And I love the celly from him after, too, because I think he was a little, I just did that. Let's go.
So, great play from Dickinson.
Yeah.
Let's use this as a building block.
Yeah.
Then we get a scrap with young Will Lockwood and
huge
Gregor.
Huge hit before that.
Yes. I would say Lockwood won this one. Had the takedown.
Yeah.
I think he landed a couple more punches, didn't take no damage. So
yeah, he took a couple at the start there, but he finished out strong. Yeah. So and I love the hit. I think it was Hurdle or not, maybe not
Hurdle.
Hurdle
Or Myers, one of those.
Meyer, Timo Meyer. I think it was him.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrung him. And then I was glad that he stepped up and took the fight because a young kid like that, you don't know if he's shut up and go back to the bench kind of thing. Yeah. But no, I was pumped that he took the hit. He's definitely showing his physical game once again, and I love Lockwood.
Also, I don't know where this has come from, but my kind of nickname for him has been Young William. I don't know why. I just say that every time he has the puck. But yeah, good scrap and nice. And he's fought this Gregor before in the AHL too this year.
There you go.
Maybe there's a little bit of history there.
Yeah, maybe there is.
Either way, Young William with his first win in a fight in the NHL.
Let's go.
1-1 after one. In the second, we had a goal from Gnarly Garley. I believe this was the first one in 20 games.
It was a long time.
Long time. And this was just a good 2-on-1. Ripped it past Kakkonen, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Nice play, too, right?
He didn't force the pass to Millsy.
Yeah, looked at the pass, sold pass, and then just ripped a puck past him.
Yeah.
And I love the way Garland skates when he just gets that arm pumping. Yeah. That's so awesome.
And he just one-hands her and just freaking goes.
Just boogies.
Yeah.
He needed that one.
100%. He looks exactly like the skating Johnny Canuck logo when he's doing it. I love it.
And he has been really good, too.
Yeah.
And putting up points, just not getting the goals. Yeah. A little bit snake bitten. And I wish it wouldn't affect, I hope it doesn't affect Canucks fans' view of him. Because he is a really good player. And I do want Garland around.
Me too.
He's been putting up a ton of assists, had two against Arizona, scored a goal tonight, or in this game. That goalless streak was very loud.
Yeah, it was bad. And it's funny too, because lots of players in the league, either you have the shooting or you have the playmaking. It's rare for players to have both. You're seeing it now more with these skilled kids, but Garland has both.
Yes.
So when his goal scoring isn't on fire, his playmaking shows through.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps him in the league.
Yeah, it was. No, you can't go 15 games or whatever without a goal. But he was still putting up points. He was still an effective top six.
Making plays, recovering pucks in the corner, just drawing penalties.
Yes.
Garland draws penalties, man.
Yeah. You know what we should talk about, too, in that Vegas game? He took a high hit from Ben Hutton. I believe it was accidental.
Yeah.
But definitely looked like he was shaken up and should have been put in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
You can say what you will about officiating and everything. I think the concussion protocol needs to be more strict. Because we saw it with Pullman, left with a head injury again. Garland was clearly shaken up. Send him to the quiet room. Just to evaluate him. None of that happened.
Yeah.
And even the Canucks should have done that. Boudreaux should have been like, hey, go. Yeah. It looked bad. And he was very stunned and was just played weird for the rest of the game too. I thought he looked a little bit off. Probably shouldn't have been in that game. Just a little side tangent there.
Yeah.
Back to the San Jose game here. 2-2 after 2. In the third, we had a goal from Alex Chiasson.
This was kind of a cool one.
This was over the shoulder, short side on Kakkonen.
And it was funny too because Bo comes around the net, tries to pass it out to the point, and it kind of kicks off a skate right to Chiasson's tape, and he just roofs.
Yeah, and 10th goal of the year for Chiasson. putting up points in his last couple of games. So impressive run. Again, Jason, I think I owe you a bit of an apology.
Me too, man. Honestly, like, we chirped him so hard and we were so against it. And, like, it didn't have the greatest start either. It doesn't seem like really anyone who comes to the Canucks has a great start. But, I mean, as of the last 5-6 games, Jason's looked unreal.
Yeah.
So, love it.
Then we had a empty netter from Luke Shen. Just kind of a buzzer beater. I think there was like 0.6 seconds left after he scored this one. And nice to see Shen get a goal.
JT Miller off the pipe, too. I was like, come on, JT. Wide open net. When there's a goalie there, you're sniping left and right. Yeah. No goalie in the net can't hit it, but I was so glad Luke Shen skated in and got it.
For a man sitting on 29 goals, too. So it would have been nice to see Miller get 30. But
he'll
also, glad to see Shen get one.
Yeah.
Who I think is tied with Hughes again for the most goals by defensemen. So we need to change that a little bit.
But I mean, I think 3 of those are empty netters from Shen, and none of them are empty netters from Quinn. So
Luke Shen's like the Tanner Pearson, Louis Eriksson of empty netters on the blue line here.
Yeah.
Thatcher Demko with his 30 win of the year. First time winning 30 games for Demko. So congratulations to you. 4-2 Canucks win.
Yeah.
Good game. This had everything.
And Demko played great. And, like, honestly, once again, like we say it all the time, but Demko has been our rock, man.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like, as far as, like, team MVPs go, like, Miller might get it because of the points, but Demko has been
the reason we won a lot of these games that were close.
Yeah, like,
a lot of these we were getting, like, outchanced, like, for sure.
It does seem like anytime we win a game, it's like, Demko went 38 on 40 shots and the Canucks scored 3 goals, you know?
Exactly.
Off 25 shots.
And some of those are like him laying on his belly, saving it with his ankle, and like just
seeing
crazy.
2 pad stacks and scorpion saves. Like,
yeah.
All right, so on to the kind of final section of the podcast here. Just some notes to go over, some news. April 8th, 2022, the Canucks announced they signed Spencer Martin to a 2-year contract, 1-year contract. Basically, solidifying that he's the backup next year.
Yeah, I loved it.
Me too. And especially when you see the price. First year, $750,000. Second year, $775,000.
Which is a discount.
Absolutely.
Spencer Martin showed how good he still is. And I'm pumped to see him between the pipes as our backup.
Yeah, and honestly, like, probably could have been like $1 million each season or something like that, but
he didn't even negotiate it. Like, he could have.
I think the biggest thing for him was the Canucks were like, you're going to be our backup.
Yeah.
So he'll be 28 when this contract, or 28, 29, somewhere in there. So still a chance to sign up more deals after this.
And that's the thing. I think it kind of gives him the opportunity for those 2 years to really show what a goaltender he's going to be.
Yeah, grow into.
Exactly. And goaltenders are usually late developers. So I think he gets a big contract, not necessarily a big contract, but a better contract after.
Yeah. And, like, still has stuff to prove, right? Like, had a 2 or 3 game stretch where he was amazing, but let's see it next year now.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like, with Demko, too. It's like, in the minors, you don't play as many games. So, like, this is the big leagues here. This is where we really see how your endurance is throughout the season. How many games can you be amazing? Because that's tough to do.
Yeah.
It's tough to bring that consistent high level of play.
And Martin has been great in the AHL too, right? Like, the Abbotsford Canucks have clinched a playoff spot.
Yeah.
They're going to the playoffs, so I'm sure Martin will get the run there.
Yeah.
And I like this for Abbotsford next year too, because I like Mikey DiPietro and I like Archer Silvos.
Yeah.
I want to let that tandem run in the AHL too. Let those kids cook and just let's get a goaltending production fucking roll in here and let's just pump out some solid backups, because we got Demko for at least 5 years or 4 more years after this.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a steal of a contract. So you're
5 mil, 100%.
Probably going to earn a raise on the next one. Yep. You're going to have to need a cheap backup.
So. Yeah, and I'm hoping he takes like the let's say we do give Demko another contract. I hope he takes that like marquee money where it's like just like a mill raise, you know what I mean, per year. Not like anything stupid crazy. We're not looking at Carey Price numbers here. We're just looking at like a high-level goaltender being paid what he's worth.
Yeah. And that looks like a steal of a deal, too. I remember when Demko signed that contract last season, people being like, they overpaid for this kid. And I was like, I don't know. Like, this is a good,
I saw the potential.
quote-unquote gamble.
Yeah.
And, it's like, it looked great.
Yeah, and now, like, with the way he's played this season, it just shows, like, okay, he's on a deal.
Absolutely.
They were right about it.
So I wanted to talk to you about this too. Some things I want to see over the last stretch here, like whether or not like the playoffs are a thing, like just what I want to see over the last handful of games here. I want to see Travis Dermott in a top 4 role.
Me too.
With OEL or like with Myers.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, because
let's give him the spotlight.
Yeah, you got to think Rathbone is probably on the team next year, hopefully. And those two probably aren't playing together. Yeah. So you got to see if Dermott can fit in that top 4 with an OEL with a Myers.
Yeah.
Or like maybe you do a OEL Hughes pairing or something like that. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like you got to give Dermott a top 4 role and let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can handle.
Yeah. And what does Luke Schen's contract look like? I don't even know how much longer he has.
One more year.
One more year. Next year too. Okay, so he'll be with us.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say maybe him and Huggy, like just test it out because he's a great skater
too. Like Dermott and Hughes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Two really good skaters, right? Like see what they could do.
Yeah, maybe a Schenn Rathbone third pairing.
That would be money because he always protects the rookies. Like you hit Rathbone, you're messing with Schenn.
Yeah.
Like.
But yeah, that's one thing I want to see. I want to see Podkolzin get more run, which he has been.
Yeah.
And has looked great. Let's talk about that right now too.
Yeah.
Vasily Podkolzin has taken his game to another level.
Yeah.
Hasn't been putting up like huge numbers, but he has been so effective and noticeable and
plays physical,
doing everything right. Like getting loose pucks, winning board battles, taking pucks to the net, throwing pucks on net, like making great passes.
The only thing that I've been seeing as of late is just sometimes there's some forced plays in tight to the net and there's a little bit of turnover action going on there. But I mean, it's not always him. It's people trying to pass to him, trying to force a play that's not there, or vice versa. So that's like the only thing that can be cleaned up. Like, he's looked great.
I just feel like he's comfortable, confident now, and you can see that growing. And I can't wait for next year to see what this guy does. Like, because I don't think he realized how strong he is.
And like the hits, man. Like
or how he can out-muscle a defender.
Yep. He's strong, man. Strong on his stick.
Yeah. So, and I want to see I want to see him in the AHL if they don't make the playoffs, which probably won't happen. But I want to see him with Abbotsford. I want to see what he does in the AHL. I want to see him dominate down there. Like,
100%. He will.
Yeah, I want to be a top line guy. I want him to be the guy. Him and Lockwood, I want to see get some run, which also has been happening. I've been very impressed with Lockwood's game too. Like, Lamico has looked a little bit lost without Highmore and Mott.
Now, the model line, since they broke up, it has not been the same.
Yeah, but also Highmore's been hurt. So.
But hey, if Dickinson brings those mitts to the table, maybe you see Dickinson in on that line, and maybe that's a decent pairing. Like, you have Lamico at center, because he's been a better centerman. Jason Dickinson has been. But put Jason on the wing and put Highmore on the other wing and see what they do.
Yeah, like there's definitely I think you put Dickinson or Lockwood there, right?
Yeah.
Both those guys are Lockwood's fast. I don't think Dickinson is slow. I think Dickinson's maybe average, a little bit above average.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely potential there. Yeah. Just sucks with Highmore being hurt. The Llama has definitely gone a little bit cold and silent here, but playing with Brad Richardson and
it is funny how you don't really notice him as much without those two.
Yeah,
that combination was just
definitely
deadly.
Some chemistry there.
Yeah.
Something else I have noted here. This week there was a lot of good performances.
Oh, it's so hard to give just one Canuck of the week this week.
Like Bo was great.
Elias Pettersson.
Pods was great. Garland was great. Jason was great.
Literally.
Demko was great.
Literally.
OEL was great too. So it's nice to see the guys kind of step up.
Yeah.
Especially without Quinn, without Besser. And that's another thing I want to say. I hope Besser comes back.
Yeah.
And I want to see some confidence from Besser. I want to see him rip a puck. I want to see him be noticeable. Excuse me.
He's been shaky all year, man. Like up and down, up and down. It's been a roller coaster with him. We haven't seen him catch his full potential once this year.
Yeah.
And it's been frustrating, no doubt about it. I'm glad that at least he found his game at some point this season. Brock hasn't done it yet. And he's been rewarded at weird times this season, which kind of gives you a weird perspective.
Brock has found his game through stretches, but he has not been Brock hasn't gone 3 weeks being a top 3 player on the team.
Yeah, and I don't feel his skating is as good this year as it was last year. It seemed like last season he knew his shot wasn't as good. So he just worked his ass off, and his skating was so good. He was so fast, and I feel like he didn't really bring that into this season, which is a little disappointing. But I just really hope at some point we get a prime Besser, and it's probably going to be next year.
Yeah, but you just got to hope that next season Petey comes in flying, Bo comes in flying.
It'll give him confidence.
And like we've talked about before, Besser isn't a driver. He's kind of just a great ride-along piece. Yeah. So you need that for Bess to get going. Yeah. So.
And he makes that type of money where he needs to be that guy.
Like you can't go silent when we view you as a 30-goal scorer.
Exactly.
So let's go over some score predictions here. I think for the rest of the year, we're not really going to bring up the previous week's score prediction because we're so bad at remembering it.
Yeah.
I promise you for the next season, we will be better at this. Yeah. We're just going to give our score predictions and go from there.
I like that.
So this week, we have Vegas in the house Tuesday night. What do you think, Wes?
We stomped them in the last game. We lost that first one, and I was pretty pissed about it. We need to win this next game against the Vegas Golden Knights. It was 5-1 last time. I think we can pull off a 5-2 this time around.
5-2? 4-3 Canucks.
Because for some reason, here and there, we're able to slip goals past the Robin Leonard, so let's hope.
Vegas is always a hard team. Like the Canucks have a hard time against Vegas for whatever reason. That win last week was the first time we beat the Golden Knights in regulation.
Yeah, which is
play this team
not a good stat.
And then we have Arizona in the house Thursday night. I'm gonna say the Canucks win this one.
It's a detail.
5-1.
Yeah, and honestly, they set that benchmark last game. I think 5 is kind of like our max for a single game. It kind of feels like it. Like we did have that heater where we scored like
Calgary too.
Yeah, but like I think that's a great score prediction because Arizona just doesn't have the firepower to beat Demko.
Got nothing to play for. Missing Keller, missing Chikrin.
Exactly. Those are your two drivers. So I mean, 5-1 sounds great.
And that's it this week. Very weird
schedule.
Our last 2 weeks, we played Vegas, Arizona, San Jose, Vegas, Arizona.
It's weird.
Yeah, very weird. But a winnable game here for sure. Then a tough one against the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Let's do some Canucks of the week here, Wes. For me, it's fairly easy, but there were a lot to choose from.
For me, it's not easy.
No? Because you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Elias Pettersson for the third week in a row.
Yeah.
7 points in 2 games against Vegas and Arizona.
And I'm glad that you gave it to someone other than who I'm giving it to because they both deserve it. It's both for me. Yeah, if you go 100% in the dot,
that is very impressive.
What can I say?
Yeah.
And you're putting up the points. You're scoring goals. He's had multiple 2-goal games. He's had multiple point games in his last however many. Like he's on fire right now. I love seeing Bo in his playoff form. So giving it to the captain.
So I have a couple of tweets of the week here. This one came after the weird Horvat goal in Vegas against Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Jason King is a brilliant power play coach. Because that was a goal on the power play. From JBO Vancouver at JBO_Vancouver. I have one from Daniel Wagner at Passataboulis. Bo Horvat loses a faceoff for just the 3rd time this game and scores a goal because of it.
Oh, you want a face-off? Still rewarded Bo Horvat.
Yeah. This one is from Wyatt Arndt at the Stanchion. The problem with Demko is he's never prepared for the 3rd shot after he makes a ludicrous thing.
Which how can you be?
Yeah.
What a great quote there.
Yeah, and then the last one I have here from Joey Kenward at Kenward's Corner. Thatcher Demko with 35 saves versus the San Jose Sharks. Is now the 6th goalie in Canucks history to post at least 30 wins in a season. The other Canucks alumni, netminders with 30 or more victories. You name them? No? Really?
No.
Roberto Luongo, 6 times.
That's obvious.
Dan Cloutier, 3 times.
I wouldn't have got that.
Kirk McLean, Alex Auld, Gary Smith.
See, in the last 2 I wouldn't have got.
Alex Auld, I remember that season where Auld was the starter because I think Cloutier got hurt. I didn't remember him winning 30 games when he did. So.
There you go.
And no shot against Alex Auld. No. I actually loved Alex Auld. He had a great mask too.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because like Roberto Luongo, obviously like just a legendary goaltender.
Yeah.
And obviously Thatcher Demko has the potential to fill those shoes. And hopefully we see it.
One thing that's very weird in this list though no Jake Markstrom.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Markey didn't have that long of a stretch.
Yeah, I think the most he won as a Canuck was like 25 games, 28.
Yeah, which he wasn't working with much, boys. Let's be honest.
No fault to Markstrom.
We're talking 40 saves sometimes. Like, it's just ridiculous amount of shots.
Yeah, no shot against Markey. Just weird that he never cracked 30 wins.
Yeah, I feel like if he would have played a couple more years with us, he would have.
Oh yeah, he would have been there this year.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's going to do it for the podcast this week. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, if you're watching this, you know where to find us at the Canuckleheads podcast on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere there's podcasts.
Another one in the bag.